And it's time to stop surviving at work and start moving with intention to generate income. So I've been the one in the high pressure corporate seats. I've earned six figures. You're here because it's something in you knows it's time. I'm not here to give you more information that's at our fingertips, but for just to have a conversation about something that needs to shift. I curate this space for those who are tired of managing misalignment, craving a clear plan, ready to design what's next in work and life, but this time on your turn. It's that off feeling like the work doesn't match who you are anymore, who you're becoming, and you're showing up, but the fulfillment, it isn't with you. So that's what I mean when I say misalignment. And when I say clarity, it's not just about a new job title. I work with very accomplished professionals. It's not about a business idea. It's about designing a life, an actual career that feels like it's yours again, because sometimes it can get off track. Whether you're at a crossroads, you're trying to figure it out, or if you're aspiring to become an entrepreneur, it's all worth it. The title, your industry, your role, it doesn't match. You're absolutely in the right room. Now, listen, there's two type of people that join me in these spaces. Some of them are here to gather information, and some of you came to what I call activate. And I'm here to serve both. But this specific session is built for those of you who are ready to move with purpose. Thank you all for tapping in. So let me be clear. This isn't about starting over. For some of you on the call, I've had several touch points with you. This is more about getting strategic and the legacy you're here to build. Everything I'm sharing with you today is not theory. This is what I actually apply, and I've guided others through over and over again. So I know what it feels like to hit that wall of misalignment, but you still got to keep performing. What I'm offering you is the exact process that I use to shift, if you will, from surviving systems to thriving in purpose. And I help others do the same. Today's workshop is about one thing: helping you protect your peace, honor your purpose, and uncap your paper. Not about hustling harder or not to settle and make it look social media cute, but finally getting honest about what needs to shift, and more importantly, what's possible when it does. This is for people that are no strangers to success. Usually I work with people in the middle of their career who have just been very heavy. They're trying to keep it all together, making it look good, but inside, exhaustion. They want more, not just more work, but more meaning. But we're going to walk through 3 pillars today. I'm going to show my screen. I'm not a slide person, but I am going to share my screen just a little bit to kind of drive a couple of points home, if you will. Today, we're walking through 3 pillars, not theory, but the real shifts you can start making right now. These are the shifts that have helped me and many of the others that I work with go from just managing work to actually designing a career that honors who you're becoming. Because when I go on a lot of people's LinkedIn, I see a bunch of accolades and a story, which is important. But we want to focus on what's next, because that's what's going to get you paid. And that's where the opportunities lie. I don't believe in inspiration without activation. I'm also going to share one tip inside each of these pillars that I'm showing you, something you can take and use immediately. Even if you're not ready to make a full pivot, whether you're processing or preparing, you're going to walk away with real clarity and small moves that compound. Number 1, protect your peace. Because peace isn't a reward you earn by overworking. I'm stressing that. It is a boundary you get to set. It is your right. Number 2, honor your purpose, because your calling isn't something you apply for. It's already in you. You just need the space and the strategy to align with it. And number three, uncap your paper. Because when alignment, when it starts to click, income and impact, they don't just show up, it multiplies. That's the shift. So if you want different, you have to do different. Before we get into that, let me tell you a little bit about who I am. My name is Andrea Johnson. I'm socially known, and my author name is Jraya Nicole. I am a career strategist and a coach. And I'm your go-to when it's time to stop surviving at work and start moving with intention to generate income. So I've been the one in the high-pressure corporate seats. I've earned six figures, both in corporate and as an entrepreneur, and I'm currently a doctoral candidate. But more than that, I know what it feels like to perform at a high level and still feel out of place. I've walked away from roles that look great on paper. Great. People thought I was crazy when I decided to pivot, but they no longer fit who I was becoming. But that's not the whole story. I've also been through 2 corporate layoffs, all in the life stage of raising children, which means keeping, the lights on, food on the table, and figuring out how to rebuild without losing myself. You follow me here? So when I talk about peace, purpose, and paper, I'm not guessing. I've absolutely lived this. Now I help professionals turn what I call work adversity into career advantage without starting over. That's the key. And without sacrificing who you are in the process. So before I dive in, I want to set the tone. I talked about 2 people up front in the room. There's going to be information gatherers, which are people that, take note. They sign up for things. They get inspired. They think on it and go back to doing what they've always done. Maybe reflect or revisit a little bit later. Then you got your action takers. Those are the ones who know something has to change, particularly in this market, who know something has to shift, and they're not waiting on another title or degree to get that permission. Those are the ones who came to do something different because they understand staying the same, that really is no longer an option. So this space I created holds room for both. I made sure that, but I designed it for the activator. Today isn't about giving you a checklist or another tactic. It's about helping you see why clearly. Because again, your next move, it actually needs to match where you're going, not who you were 5, 10 years ago. Let me talk about action. My Explore calls that I have, they run about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the setup. And they're not just the next step. It's often a game changer. I had a young lady reach out to me. She was senior level, well paid, respected, led a team, racked up the accolades. But on the inside, she was stretched. Her capacity was gone. I'm talking about it was affecting her health-wise, mental-wise. I can go on. She was doubting her value inside and started to lose the fire that made her good in the first place. The job wasn't bad. It just stopped being right for her. The segue is you don't have to hate your job to want to change. You don't have to be miserable, right? We don't have to get to the burnout. So again, the job for this young lady, it wasn't bad. It just stopped being a fit for her. And what shifted everything is it wasn't a perfect plan. It wasn't a huge leap. She spent 15 minutes with me to finally say, well, this isn't working, Drea. She had to say it out loud. This isn't working. I am going to lose my mind. That call, those 15, 20 minutes was her first real permission slip, if you will, to stop managing dysfunction. And she started designing what came next. Listen, y'all, a lot of people think big change requires some type of dramatic exit. But sometimes the biggest shift starts with just the conversation with yourself. You all wouldn't be on this call if you're not having these already. But I mean, just simply put, how can you take the shot and never give yourself permission to line up for my sports people? So that call lit a fire. So Her 15, 20-minute investment turned into new boundaries. She got a clear direction, and she finally took the courage to just pursue some work that lit her up. So she tapped into what I call it your career sweet spot. And that's not where your people think you should be, but it's actually where you're called to thrive. So let me break that down in real life. Your sweet spot, for those of you that are in a corporate setting currently, it looks like not hating Sunday evenings. Because Monday means driving into a space that absolutely drains you. Y'all with me? It looks like a financial runway or building that lets you explore the inner creators. For those of you that are in a work setting and aspiring to be an entrepreneur, there's some sacrifice behind building that financial runway for the entrepreneur that you're meant to be. Your career sweet spot looks like turning PTO, paid time off, into I take that vacation when I want, how I want, without guilt. I remember taking vacations and I couldn't even relax because I was so busy focused on what I was coming back to. Can y'all relate to that? I couldn't even relax. Yes, because I knew going back to what I was doing, what I was walking into. And if I can be real with you, when I have conversations like that with people, my work that I do right now, it doesn't feel like work. I'm in my home office. It doesn't feel like work because what I've seen, what's on the other side is people finally putting their self first. And this lady that I was talking to you about a few moments ago, she realized, what many of us feel deep down, what she was doing was no longer sustainable. I'm a career wellness advocate. I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about where you are right now? Not what your resume says, not what your boss thinks or wrote up on an assessment or mid-year evaluation. How do you feel about where you are right now? How do you feel about the space you're in? Because you're not alone. You're absolutely not alone. Here's the truth. Clarity, and this is key. Clarity isn't reserved for a crisis. Let's not wait till stuff hit the fan. You don't have to burn out to earn your breakthrough, but you do have to take a pause long enough to tell yourself the truth. If you want different, you got to do different. You all showed up for yourself. I'm Drea. Thank you all for tapping in. I will see you in these social media streets, and you all have a good evening.